Last night, it was just rain and a rooftop, and almost a kiss. But storms don't stop at lightning. With secrets leaking and families turning cold, Kyan does something no one saw coming. He chooses Eliora. Welcome back to the Velvet Story. This is Beneath Velvet Fire, chapters 7 and 8. Where a fake date becomes dangerously real, and a gift says what words cannot. The cameras were everywhere. Flashbulbs popped like miniature fireworks, reporters jostled for position, and the chatter of journalists formed a low hum beneath the polished marble steps of the Mercer Art Museum. Tonight's event, Project Elan's Heart and Art Gala, a high-profile fundraiser pairing Eliora Devienne and Kyan Alarak as the evening's honorary co-chairs. It was, in every sense, a fabricated romance for public consumption, an image of rivals turned allies glittering beneath chandelier light. Eliora's fingers trembled ever so slightly as she adjusted the delicate lace cuff around her wrist. Her midnight blue gown, tailored to perfection, clung to her curves with understated elegance. Her hair was swept into a graceful chignon, accented by a single sapphire pin, her mother's heirloom. She inhaled, counting to 3, and stepped into the foyer, chin high, expression composed. Kyan Alarak stood waiting on the red carpet, tuxedo crisp and white rose in his lapel. He looked every bit the leading man the press hoped he would be. When he saw Eliora emerge, he offered her a small, warm smile, one meant for the cameras, but not entirely devoid of sincerity. She paused a breath. In that instant, all the rehearsed tension faded. His eyes, steel grey in sunlight, warm embers beneath flashbulbs, met hers. Something softened at her core, a warmth she couldn't fully extinguish. She cleared her throat, plastered on her professional smile, and took his arm. Photographer, Devienne Alarak, a few words on your partnership tonight? Kyan, to camera, we're thrilled to bring art and technology together under one roof. Eliora, to camera, Project Elan continues to bridge worlds, yesterday's tradition, today's innovation, and tomorrow's dreamers. The flashes intensified. Their practiced banter played out seamlessly. Yet beneath the poised surface, something new was stirring in both their hearts, a spark unanticipated by any PR strategist. Inside, the grand ballroom stretched before them like liquid gold, gilded columns, sweeping frescoes, and a stage lit by hundreds of fairy lights. Tables draped in ivory silk held centerpieces of white roses and glowing votive candles. Guests in evening finery mingled, glasses in hand, eyes darting to the two feuding heirs turned charity figureheads. A string quartet began a lilting waltz as Eliora and Kyan made their way to the head table. The maitre d' guided them to seats side by side. Whispers rippled through the crowd, they're adorable together, look how he's looking at her. She's finally smiling. Eliora forced herself not to blush. She poured a sip of water, scanning the room. Kyan leaned in. Kyan, softly, you look radiant tonight. She blinked, resisting the warmth that spread through her chest. You look charming. He winked. A strategic choice. She rolled her eyes. Your strategy is infuriating. He chuckled, the sound rich and genuine. And you're delightfully impossible. They settled into polite conversation with board members, but their gazes kept drifting to each other. Every laugh Kyan elicited from Eliora felt like a soft earthquake beneath her composure. Every time she tilted her head in amusement, Kyan's breath seemed to catch. An hour into the gala, the MC announced the Charity Pair Challenge, a light-hearted game in which celebrity duos take the stage to answer rapid-fire questions about each other. It was a press favorite, equal parts comedy and confession, guaranteed to deliver candid moments. Eliora's heart sank. She and Kyan had not rehearsed this. They'd practiced speeches, but not personal questions. The media would dissect every laugh line, every blush. The MC called their names. Cameras swarmed the stage. Eliora stood, smoothing her gown. Kyan nudged her gently. Kyan, whisper, we've got this. Eliora, whisper, easy for you to say. The stage lights cast them in a warm glow. The MC, an effervescent woman in ruby red, smiled broadly. MC, welcome, Eliora Devian and Kyan Alarak. First question. What's the one word you'd use to describe each other? Eliora glanced at Kyan, heart hammering. On impulse, she smiled, a real, unguarded smile that surprised even her. Eliora, resilient. The crowd murmured. Kyan's brows rose. MC, and you, Kyan? Kyan looked at Eliora, her eyes bright in the spotlight. Kyan, unexpected. Eliora's breath caught. The MC beamed. MC, next, what's your co-chair's most endearing quirk? Eliora exchanged a glance with Kyan. She hedged playfully. Eliora, he thinks he can predict the stock market with facial expressions. Laughter rippled through the hall. Kyan feigned indignation, then grinned. Kyan, and Eliora, she reorganizes my tech presentations at the last minute, without telling me. He flushed slightly. Eliora's heart warmed at the admission that he valued her input enough to notice her meddling. MC, grinning, one more, finish this sentence, I'd trust my co-chair with. Eliora closed her eyes, thought of all they'd weathered together, scandals. Leaked documents, storm-soaked rooftops. She opened her eyes and met Kyan's unwavering gaze. Eliora, my vulnerabilities. A hush fell. Kyan's breath hitched. The MC's grin faltered for a beat. Kyan, and I'd trust Eliora with my future. The hall erupted in applause. Eliora's cheeks warmed. Kyan's words, spoken without pretense, echoed inside her. In that instant, the line between performance and reality blurred irrevocably. They exited the stage, hearts pounding. Kyan guided her toward a secluded alcove behind heavy drapes. Kyan, softly, you were brilliant. Eliora, so were you. She ran a finger along the beading of her gown, gathering courage. Eliora, that felt real. Kyan, because it was. Her chest fluttered. She swallowed. I didn't expect to feel this, tonight. He brushed a stray lock of hair from her face. Neither did I. They stood inches apart, the murmuring gala became distant noise. Her pulse thundered, her breath caught. She lifted her hand, fingertips hovering near his thigh. He leaned forward. His jaw was tense, eyes filled with longing and uncertainty. Kyan, whisper, may I? Before he could finish, the MC's voice crackled over a nearby microphone. MC, Mr. Alarak, Ems, Devian, are you ready for the head table dessert presentation? They jumped apart, adrenaline still crackling. They smiled, nervously, sheepishly, then allowed themselves to be guided back into the gala's grandeur. Later, as dessert plates of chocolate mousse towers and rose-infused sorbets were served, Eliora found herself glancing at Kyan across the table. Every time their eyes met, a blush stole across her cheeks. She nibbled on a delicate macaron, pretending to study its texture while watching him laugh softly with a sponsor. Inside, she felt a delicious unease, like the first stirrings of dawn after a long, dark night. She was supposed to be in control, to maintain the Devian poise. Instead, her heart fluttered with each brush of Kyan's hand against hers as they took dessert from the same platter. After the formal program concluded, a quieter after-party unfolded in the museum's sculpture garden, lit with fairy lights and heated by discreet fire pits. A live jazz trio played mellow standards. Guests mingled on stone paths lined with marble statues. The tension of the gala's formality melted under open sky and music. Priya found Eliora near a fountain, champagne flute in hand. Priya, there you are. He's asked me to find you, again. Eliora turned. Kyan stood at the edge of the garden, holding 2 glasses of sparkling rosé. He offered one to Eliora. She took it, their fingers brushing lightly. Kyan, can I have this dance? No cameras, no audience, just us. Her breath fluttered. She surveyed the garden, then nodded. Just us. They moved to the center of the path. With no MC to cue them. Kyan took her hand and led her in a slow sway. The music was gentle, the night air soft against her skin. She rested her hand on his shoulder, he cradled her waist. Their faces were inches apart, eyes locked. Kyan, I meant what I said, about trusting you with my future. Elira, and I meant my vulnerabilities. They fell silent, letting the words settle between them. He brushed his lips to her temple. She closed her eyes, head leaning into his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. Time slowed. The world narrowed to that circle of light, jazz, and two people discovering that a press-driven facade could give way to genuine connection. Suddenly, her phone vibrated sharply in her pocket, a message from the Deviant Foundation team. She pulled away, checking the screen. Breaking, Gala after-party location change, VIPs evacuating now. She looked up as security voices rose in alarm. Kyan followed her gaze, staff herding guests toward exits, tense faces everywhere. Elira, worried, what's happening? Staffer, urgent, there's been a security breach, unauthorized drone spotted overhead. Orders to evacuate immediately. Panic flickered across the guests' faces. Elira turned to Kyan. Elira, stay with me. Kyan, always. They rushed toward the main entrance. The garden lights blurred as they navigated the crowd. Around them, rumors of an imminent threat, an environmental activist group threatening to crash the event. Security teams surged. Inside the lobby, the glass doors were locked. Guests pressed against the walls. Alarms flashed. A hush descended, every eye on the entrance. Kyan gripped Elira's hand. We need to get to the private tunnel. Follow me. He led her through a concealed door behind the reception desk. A narrow corridor stretched into darkness. Emergency lights flashed, revealing stone walls and a map indicating the tunnel led to the museum's staff quarters. They hurried along. Elira's pulse thudded in her ears, fear mixed with the adrenaline of the night's emotions. Kyan guided her out into a subterranean service area, where a back staircase led to a secure loading dock. They emerged onto a quiet street behind the museum. Rain had begun to fall again, gentle, cleansing. Kyan tugged her coat tighter around her. She looked at him, chest heaving. Elira, are you okay? Kyan, better now. He pulled her close, brushing raindrops from her hair. Their faces hovered inches apart. Elira, soft, thank you, for everything tonight. Kyan, thank you, for letting me. Her eyes glistened. He cupped her cheek, thumb brushing her lower eyelid. Kyan, Elira, this started as a charade. But I don't want it to end there. Her breath caught. Neither do I. They gazed at each other, lightning reflected in her eyes. The rain fell around them in a gentle curtain, world reduced to two beating hearts. His hand slid to the small of her back, hers lingered on his chest. Kyan, whisper, may I? She smiled, a tremulous, radiant curve of lips. Yes. He bent, lips touching hers in a kiss that carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken moments, first confessions, near kisses, revelations in code, storms and secrets. It was tender and fierce, the culmination of laughter, tension, and emerging trust. They broke apart, foreheads pressed together, sharing ragged breaths. Elira, we never meant to fall in love tonight. Kyan, smiling, but I did. She brushed her nose against his. Then I suppose we must see where this goes. He brushed rain-damp hair from her face. Together, Elira, together. And beneath the storm-lit sky, with rain washing away the pretense and the night whispering its approval, two hearts once divided by rivalry took their first true step forward, into a love they never meant to have, but could not imagine living without. Chapter 8, Confession in Code. The first soft glow flickered on Elira Deviant's wrist just after dawn, an unexpected beacon in her otherwise meticulously ordered world. She paused at her vanity, turning her wrist under the ring of bathroom light. A slender silver bracelet, its surface etched with interlocking circuits and delicate filigree, pulsed in a gentle saffron hue. The glow was subtle, barely perceptible against her cream silk blouse, but it was unmistakable, a heartbeat of light that throbbed with silent meaning. Elira's breath caught. She remembered how the bracelet had arrived the night before, a single matte black box, waiting on her desk in the Aureus Studio Cafe. Its contents unmarked save for two tiny letters inscribed inside the lid, K.A. She'd stared at those letters, heart racing, and lifted the bracelet from its velvet nest. No note, no explanation, only the discreet clasp that clicked shut with a reassuring snap. She touched the etchings lightly, circuit lines and filigree woven together, symbolizing technology and tradition, the essence of Project Elan itself. Then she tapped the hidden button at the base of the design, and the bracelet glowed once more, soft, warm light that set her pulse thudding. A message, she realized. I'm thinking of you. Elira had slipped the bracelet under her sleeve before leaving the cafe, not daring to wear such a personal gift in public. Yet she hadn't taken it off afterward. Not once. It had found its place alongside her watch and her family heirloom ring, an intimate secret she concealed beneath velvet gloves of composure. That morning, Elira arrived at the Devian boardroom for the weekly Project Elan strategy meeting. The room was grand, polished walnut table, high-backed leather chairs, and floor-to-ceiling windows framing the burgeoning spring skyline. Board members murmured around her, eyes flicking to Kyan's empty chair. She set her briefcase down and slipped into her seat, smoothing her sleeve to hide the bracelet. When Kyan arrived, late, of course, he offered her a small, private smile that made her heart flutter. He took his seat next to hers. Their proximity felt charged, a current humming beneath the meeting's opening remarks. Chairman Beaumont cleared his throat. First item, review of the digital arts mentorship rollout. EMS, Devian. Elira stood, heels clicking, and delivered her presentation with precision, enrollment numbers, engagement metrics, and partnerships with emerging art schools. Her voice was calm, assured, every bit the fearless leader her reputation demanded. When she concluded, applause rang lightly, the board nodded approvingly. Next, Kyan took the floor, presenting the latest upgrades to their art-sharing platform, augmented reality galleries, AI-driven critique modules, and enhanced security features. He spoke with his usual blend of enthusiasm and technical clarity, eyes occasionally drifting to Elira, making her pulse quicken. After the meeting adjourned, the remaining board members mingled by the side tables. Elira gathered her notes as Kyan approached. Kyan, quietly, did you feel it? She tilted her head, eyebrows arching. Feel what? He held up his wrist. A band of the same silver, identical in design, glowed faintly beneath his cuff. You are not the only one wearing it. Elira's lips curved in a small, unguarded smile. You startled me, Kyan. Good. That was the point. She tucked her notes into her briefcase. You realize this bracelet is a technological marvel, biofeedback tuned to my neural signature. Kyan, I had help. He winked. From the Alarak Tech Lab's best quantum engineers. Elira raised an eyebrow. You gave your team strict instructions? Kyan, I gave them one directive, build something that lets me speak to you when words won't do. She studied him for a moment, his earnest gaze, the faint pulse of light beneath his cuff, the sincerity that radiated from every line of his face. And what do you intend to say, Mr. Alarak? He paused, expression uncharacteristically vulnerable. That you're not alone. That whenever you need me, even if you can't call, I'll be thinking of you. Elira's breath caught. She looked down at the pulsating glow. How often? She asked softly. Kyan, every time I think of you. She let the moment linger. No witty retort. No verbal shield. Just the honest truth between them, underscored by the rhythmic light at her wrist. Kyan, I know you won't say this first. His voice dropped to a whisper. But I care about you, Elira. More than strategy or partnership. He faltered. Elira's heart thudded. The words hung between them, raw and unscripted. She closed her eyes, steadying herself against the rush of emotion. Kyan, she said at last, voice steady, I know. His eyes met hers, relief and thankfulness shining. She stood and crossed the small distance between them. With deliberate grace, she removed her glove and slipped her hand into his. Elira, I don't take this lightly. This gift, this gesture. Thank you for seeing beyond my walls. He traced the pulse of her bracelet with a fingertip. I'll keep thinking of you, quietly, loudly, incessantly, until you respond in kind. She smiled, genuine and warm, a smile reserved only for him. I'll keep wearing this, and maybe, one day, I'll let you hear my own confessions. He leaned forward, brushing her knuckles with a tender kiss. The bracelet glowed brighter for a moment, as though celebrating their shared secret. The rest of the day passed in a blur of meetings and press calls. Eliara found herself unconsciously brushing at her sleeve, checking for the bracelet's glow. Each flicker of light was an unspoken conversation. I'm here. I remember you. I'm with you. That evening, she retreated to the Devian rooftop garden, a quiet sanctuary illuminated by lanterns and the soft hum of city life below. She walked the paved path, hand to her wrist, drawing comfort from the bracelet's warmth. Kyan found her there, leaning against the glass balustrade, gazing at the skyline. Rain clouds drifted on the horizon, promising a spring shower. He approached silently, offering her a steaming mug of jasmine tea. Kyan, you look like you need this. She accepted it, savoring the aroma. Thank you. They stood side by side, sharing the mug's warmth. After a moment, Kyan cleared his throat. Kyan, I have something else for you. He reached into his jacket pocket and produced a small card. Eliara took it curiously. On one side was a QR code, on the other, scan when alone. She tucked the card into her gown's hidden pocket. Why not now, Kyan? Because some confessions deserve privacy. Eliara's curiosity flared. What's this, Kyan? A personal art stream. Just for you. I've programmed a live feed of my favorite art installations, places that remind me of moments we've shared. Scan it tonight when you're alone. Her pulse quickened. He'd created an entire digital gallery for her, curated with thought and care. You really think of everything. He smiled, eyes warm. I want you to know, everything I do with you in mind. She turned to him, heart swelling. She placed her hand on his chest, feeling the steady beat beneath his shirt. Her voice caught. She steadied herself. I appreciate you, every piece of you. He lowered his head, brushing his forehead to hers. Then let me prove it, every day. They lingered in that quiet moment, two hearts beating in sync beneath the spring sky, until the first raindrops drifted down, gentle as confessions in code. Later that night, Eliara settled into her penthouse study, the city lights twinkling beyond the windows. She removed her coat, setting the mug of jasmine tea on her desk. Retrieving the card from her pocket, she scanned the QR code with her phone. The screen flickered to life, revealing a private digital gallery, high-resolution images of art installations from around the world, modern glass sculptures, interactive light exhibits, classical oil paintings, and beside each, a brief code snippet and a line of text from Kyan. Installation, Aurora Cascade. Code, if, thoughts _of Eliara, glow equals brightest. Note, this reminds me of your inner fire, radiant and unstoppable. Exhibit, Whispering Pines. Code, on heartbeat, equals greater than send my love. Note, quiet moments, just you and me, in nature's hush. Display, Midnight Reverie. Code, for, let moment of our memories, replay, moment. Note, every midnight dance, every shared laughter. Tears welled in her eyes. Each installation, each snippet, was a thread in a tapestry of memories they'd woven together, storms, scandals, masquerades, rooftop confessions. Each note an echo of his devotion. Eliara reached for her bracelet. It glowed softly, as if in response to the stream. She tapped the clasp and whisper typed into her phone's private notes. Kyan, your code has decoded my heart. She hit send to herself, a reminder, more than anything, that her walls had begun to come down. She curled her legs beneath her on the plush carpet, the bracelet's glow warming her skin. For the first time in years, she felt safe letting someone see the unguarded parts of her soul. The next morning, as the sun rose over the city, Eliara met Kyan in the Aureus Studio Cafe. He greeted her with coffee, cardamom-infused latte, just the way he knew she liked it, and a hopeful smile. She slipped her wrist out for him to see. The bracelet pulsed in tandem with his. Eliora, it's brilliant. Cain, only for you. She reached across the table and took his hand. Your confession in code, it's the most beautiful thing anyone's ever given me. His fingers tightened around hers. And your acceptance is the greatest gift I could ask for. They sat together, surrounded by the hum of creation, two partners bound by more than strategy. Underneath the silver filigree and hidden circuitry, something extraordinary was blazing, a love born in data and devotion, glowing ever brighter in the light of mutual trust. When love starts in lies, can it still be true? Eliora wears his bracelet, secretly, always. But next chapter, betrayal cuts deeper. Hit that bell, because beneath Velvet fire is about to burn brighter than ever. Subscribe to the Velvet Story, where enemies fall in love, and the past never stays buried.